Hello, everyone. Very good evening to all of you. Amazing. So looks like everybody is on fire today. We have a very, very important topic to cover, which is like what agents are. We have already seen what large language models are, how to start building with LLMs. And apart from that, we have also seen how to build a very simple implementation of feedback intelligence system, right? Amazing. Um, so before I get into the session, I see a few questions like from Sakshi. She's mentioning that I didn't receive workshop one certificate. Sakshi, can you please tell me which certificate and which workshop are you referring to? The winner list of yesterday's quiz. We will share the data very soon. The top three names very soon. I think the top three like gold, silver, and bronze. Whoever has received, they already received the call from us, right? You must have been congratulated already, but your certificates will be shared by, I think, Wednesday. So just wait for maybe a couple of days to receive the certificates. And a lot of you are going to be eligible for excellence certificate as well. All right. So please allow me to provide you some details. Because of the active participation from all of you, there are three types of certificates we are going to provide. One will be top three certificates. Can everybody confirm if my screen is visible or not? And are you able to see this new annotation which I started drawing just now? Amazing. So you will receive like only top three students will receive this certificate. Top three certificate. And apart from top three certificates, we have seen a lot of you have done really good job in quiz. Along with the quiz, you have also done a really good job in making LinkedIn posts, writing LinkedIn posts on a regular basis. And we are glad to announce that excellence certificate is also going to be provided to every single person who has attended 4 days or above. Plus, if you have, if you are in top 25%, if you are in top 25% of the quiz which was conducted yesterday, you will receive the excellence certificate for sure from our side. And the last certificate will be participant certificate or participation certificate. Participation certificate. For participation, your attendance should be 3 days or more. If your attendance is 3 days or more, you will receive the participation certificate as well. Now, coming back to when you will receive this certificate, as I mentioned, your certificate will be shared from our side on Wednesday. Wednesday by 7 p.m., you will receive the certificate via email. Is this part clear to all of us? Is this part clear to all of us? Amazing. Perfect. Now, I think I received your details, Sakshi. Sakshi, can you also share your email ID so that I can share it with the team and get your certificate published as quickly as possible? It won't be done till like Monday or Tuesday because it's a long weekend. So just give me a couple of days. Meanwhile, you just share your email ID so that I can ensure that you receive your certificate for the previous workshop you have attended. Yes, I received your email also. Let me just make a note of it. Yeah, perfect. No, no, no. See, it's not about only the attendance. You remember on day one, I asked you something. I told you clearly that if you are consistent in the interaction, if you are performing really well during this entire workshop, you will receive the certificate of excellence from us. And there are few more things we will try to share them through Discord itself in the interest of everybody's time, rather than spending time on this discussion that who is going to receive the certificate or not. We'll try to share all that detail after the session gets completed through Discord. Anyhow, I hope all of us, we are already connected on Discord through the Inomatics Discord community. So please try to keep your eye on that community so that you can get the notification about the certificates. When the certificates are shared, you will also get the details about whoever is the top three, whoever has received the excellence certificate. Every detail will be kept over there. So please try to check it over there rather than discussing about it in the session. All right, because we have so many interesting things we have to discuss during this session about this new last topic, one last topic, which is nothing but what agents are and how agentic AI system actually behaves. With that, I just need a quick confirmation in the form of maybe some emoji in the chat section so that I can start discussing about this new topic today. Yes, Sakshi will share the list soon. Khushi, you can directly contact us by going to our website, inomatics.in, and you can call our number, counselor numbers, in order to get more detail about the data science or AI ML courses we offer. All right, amazing. Let's begin our discussion about something interesting. Do you still remember this diagram from yesterday and day before? And do you remember that we have already seen how to include the system prompt while designing context builder in LangChain? Yes. Today what we will do, we will see, this is not what I'll try to discuss today, but what I'll try to discuss today is this and this. Are you getting it? So we'll try to see how to use LangChain in order to design agentic system. I will come to what is the meaning of agentic system in a moment, but please understand that rather than connecting system prompts, today we will learn how to connect something called as tools, which is very, very popular right now in the current AI ML market. With that, let's try to understand first of all what agentic systems really are and what do they really represent. As of now, whatever systems we have designed, we understand one interesting thing, that user is going to share a prompt, right? User is going to provide a prompt. That prompt is going to somehow maybe get converted into a context. There'll be a context builder here, right? Some form of context builder here. And this context builder's job is to convert this particular user prompt into an edible context for large language model to consume. Correct? So this is how the system used to be. Tell me one thing. Do you remember that LLMs by default, just in case if the user asks a question like this, let's say the question is, what is the current temperature in Hyderabad? Will the system be able to answer this question? Will the system be able to answer this question? Why do you think system will not be able to answer this question? Why do you think system will not be able to answer this question? Yes, because we all remember the limitation of LLM. LLM doesn't have any real-time data information. There is no real-time information LLM can connect to. But do you agree that LLM has a good knowledge and intelligence. This is the intelligence layer, right? LLM has a really good knowledge. LLM has a lot of intelligence. LLM can understand what do I need, and accordingly, it can also generate response for me. Do you all agree with that? Right? LLM has intelligence, but LLM is not able to tell you anything about the real time world because it is never connected to any real time systems. Are you getting it? My question is, what if somehow I can connect LLM? Somehow I can connect LLM with Google search. If I can somehow connect LLM with Google search, will LLM be able to answer this question in that case? If I ask this question, what is the current temperature in Hyderabad? Will LLM be able to answer the question? Can somebody tell me what will happen? Step by step, can you tell me where or how the information flow is going to happen? Do you agree? The first thing that will happen is user is going to provide this prompt, right? Context builder is going to maybe create a context for you, right? Context builder is going to create a context for you. And this context, when it goes to LLM, can you tell me what will happen in that case? In case if you can somehow connect Google search kind of system, live system with LLM, LLM has to make a call to Google search. And what kind of a call will LLM make to Google search? LLM will say, Google, can you please tell me what is the current temperature in Hyderabad? Are you getting it? What will happen then? Google search is going to be performed. Some search is going to be performed, and the response is going to be returned to LLM from this live system. And when the response gets returned, can LLM now generate a response called as completion from the information given by Google search? Can LLM now create a final response or completion for us? Yes. I hope you are able to understand this entire logic or system as well. In case we all know LLM doesn't have by default any real-time information, but the idea behind agentic AI systems, is to, instead of keeping LLM component here, why not keep an agentic component here? All right. The whole idea of agentic system is connecting LLM with something called as tools. We typically call this as tool. Any external service is going to be called as tool. And if you can somehow connect LLM with these external services, you are enhancing your LLM or you are enhancing your system to take various actions rather than just generating responses without looking at real-time dashboards or real-time information. How many of you are able to understand what an agent is? This is your entire application, or let me try to highlight what the agent is in this application. Please try to carefully have a look at this. This is your agent. Yes, I will repeat it. Just wait for a moment. I will repeat it. But for now, are you able to see that agent is a combination of what? Agent is a combination of dash and dash. Can somebody tell me? Combination of dash and dash. Yes, agent is a combination of LLM and tools. Got it? Agent is nothing but a combination of LLMs and tools. This is what you need to keep in mind while thinking about agentic systems. Was that easy to understand? Now, I have a question for you. Why do we care about connecting tools with large language model? Or in simple terms, if I said connecting tools with large language models, can I also replace this entire thing with agent? Why do we care about connecting tools with LLM? Or I can also call it as, why do we care about agents? Agents is nothing but connecting tools with large language models. Yes or no? Is the question making sense to all of you? Are you all able to understand the question? See, the question is, first of all, what is the agent? Agent is the combination of LLM and tools. Agent is the combination of LLM and the tools. My question is, why do we care about connecting tools with this LLM? Or why do we care about agent? Agent is nothing but tools connected with LLM, right? Why do we care about agents? Why do we care about tools connected with LLMs? The reason why we care about this is because tools provide LLMs a way to perform, a way to execute actions. Yes, because tools allow you to execute actions. Can you tell me what kind of an action is this LLM performing here? With the help of this tool, can you tell me what kind of an action LLM will be able to perform here? A Google search, a real-time Google search can be performed. Real-time data access can happen in case if we can connect somehow LLM with this with any tool. Is this part clear to all of us? Can everybody please quickly rate your understanding on a scale of 1 to 5 about this small, simple concept we just saw? Wonderful. Now, with this tool, LLM will be able to perform real-time search, right? Do you remember a question from day one or day two? Do you remember I gave a prompt to LLM on day one? I think on day one or day two, I gave this prompt. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied by 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2? How many of you remember this prompt was given to the LLM on day one or day two? The response or the completion of LLM, was it correct completion of LLM? Like, yes, correct. Everybody is able to identify, remember that LLM hallucinated here. The completion which came out was hallucinated. Hallucinated output came here. And do you remember we made a conclusion here saying that LLMs are capable of hallucination. And second conclusion was LLMs are poor at mathematics. You remember that? LLMs hallucinate and LLMs are poor at mathematics was the conclusion of that particular question. And do you also remember that I told you that with agents, we can solve this problem? How do you solve this problem? You solve this problem using agents. You remember that? Right? LLMs do not have, first of all, any access to real-time information. LLMs do not perform correct mathematical calculations on complicated topics or complicated expressions. How do we solve it? We solve it using agents. Now, can somebody guess what do I do in order to allow LLM to perform this operation? Do you see? I want to ensure that LLMs by default, they are poor at mathematical calculation. But can I make LLM good at mathematical calculation somehow? Can I make the system good at mathematical calculation somehow? How do I do that? Can somebody guess or think about it from this example, which has already been demonstrated on the screen with the help of agent? But how? By changing the tool. Amazing, Pramod. So what you can do is you can simply replace this particular tool. Can you replace this tool with a calculator tool? Can you please think about replacing this with a calculator tool? If you can somehow connect it with calculator tool, when somebody asks, or whenever a user asks this question, can you tell me what should LLM think about? LLM should simply think about, okay, I see a question which is asking me to make a multiplication or do a multiplication. I have a tool called as calculator. Let me call the calculator tool in order to perform the operation rather than doing it myself. Because if I do it myself, I will definitely hallucinate or give an incorrect response. I am already connected to the calculator. Let me call the calculator on this user query and perform the calculation and return the response back to the large language model. Is this part clear to all of us? Is this part clear to all of us? Who is taking the decision of calling the tool? Tell me who is taking the decision to call the tool? LLM. You remember LLM is already intelligent enough to understand, right? LLM already has intelligence. LLM already has intelligence to understand that this tool can perform calculation multiplication for me. So it's LLM's duty to call the tool. Tool will execute whenever it is called. And once executed, tool is going to generate the response and send it back to the LLM itself. Is the idea clear to all of us? Amazing. Now, let's try to go step by step and try to understand this entire concept in a little bit more clarity. All right. First of all, what is an agent? We already studied that agent is nothing but combination of LLMs and tools. Got it? Please note that LLMs will be able to take the user input. They are good at intelligence, right? LLMs are intelligent, so they will be able to properly reason and solve the, think about the problem statement. And LLM will generate the response if it is not connected to the tool directly. But if you connect LLMs with the tool, LLM will reason properly. LLM will think about, I am connected with this tool. Let me try to use this tool in order to give the response to the user. Think about it in this way. Let's say somebody asks me a question. What is the time? Can you tell me what should I do in order to answer this question? I have intelligence. I have a brain. I have intelligence. What do I do in order to answer this question? Is my intelligence enough to answer this question? Is my intelligence enough to answer this question? No. Correct. What do I need in order to answer this question? I need a clock, right? I need a watch to answer this question. Now, what is a watch to me? Watch is like a tool to me, right? Clock is like a tool to me. Are you getting it now? Right? So even though you have intelligence, you still need a lot of external help in order to perform a day-to-day task. Similarly, if you want your LLMs, if you want your LLMs to actually perform various actions, if you want your LLMs to take appropriate actions, you have to think about connecting LLMs with tools. Now, tell me one thing. As a human, am I connected to a single watch or clock tool, or do I have multiple tools available at my disposal? Multiple tools, right? Do you agree if somebody asks me some question, I can always use Google search as a tool? If somebody asks me maybe what is the current time, I can always use clock in order to a watch in order to answer the question, right? So it's a combination. See, your day-to-day tasks is a combination of your intelligence, and various tools which are available at your disposal. And a single person is typically connected to multiple tools. Similarly, you can also connect your LLM. A single LLM can also be connected to multiple tools, right? LLM can be connected to tool number one. LLM can be connected to tool number two. LLM can be connected to tool number three, tool number four, tool number five, and so on up to tool number N. Is this part clear to you? Is this part clear to you? Yes. And do you all confirm this to me? Please confirm this to me. Do you agree more tools we connect to the LLM, better response or better the LLM becomes, better this agent becomes? If you connect more tools, definitely the agent is going to be more powerful, right? But that is not the case. Please remember one thing, all right? And in order, see, I will ask this question again, okay? So just try to think about or keep it in your mind for just 5 more minutes. I will come back to this question once again, all right? I will come back to this question once again. Yes, we'll come to that, Maria. We'll come to this. Let me now try to define what a tool is, technically speaking, in Python programming language. Tool, to be very simple, to keep it super duper simple, tool is a method or a function. Tool is a method, tool is a function. What do you know about a function or a method? Do you agree any method or a function takes an input argument and returns something? Got it? For example, if I say something like this, return A cross B. Can you tell me As of now, what am I calling this? What am I calling this? I am calling it a tool. All right. Remember, tool is nothing but a function. Tool is nothing but a function which is performing a task. Can you tell me what task is this tool performing? Can you tell me what task is this function performing? Multiplication. Amazing. And do you see that this tool takes an input? Tell me what input this tool takes. Tool takes an input. What input this tool takes? It takes two inputs. One is A, another is B. And what does it return? It returns the multiplication of those two numbers. Tell me one thing. If I can somehow connect this with a chat GPT, or if I can somehow connect it with a GPT model, if I can somehow connect it with a Llama model, do you agree whenever needed, these models can call this tool on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, multiply by 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2 kind of complicated mathematical calculations? And do you also agree that these tools can actually generate a correct response and give the response back to the large language model so that LLM can see? Even if you ask me this question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, multiply by 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, will I do it mentally myself in my brain? No. If I do not know the shortcut of doing this, I will never do it. All right. In order for me to perform this operation, I have to be trained in performing these complicated mathematical operations in my brain. And unless I am not trained performing these kind of calculations mathematically in my brain, I have to always reach out to, even though I'm a intelligent person, I have to. So when I say I am an intelligent person, I mean to say all of us. All right. We all have to reach out to a calculator, and maybe calculator will have this kind of a input and output kind of a response. I will provide the two numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. I will click on the multiplication button, and calculator is going to perform that operation, return the response to me, and I will confidently be able to say that this is the response. Because I know calculator cannot make mistake, I will directly just say that this is a response. And the same thing has to be done by a large language model as well. If this part is clear, can you please quickly rate your understanding about the simple definition of tool which we just saw? Now, in order to create an agent, there are few things we need to keep in mind. All right. In order to create an agent, there are few things we need to keep in mind. And let's try to now understand those things as per LangChain, as per Python implementation, which we will see just in a moment. Let's try to understand those important things really quick. I will take this. I will take this. All right. I will take this and bring it down. I will take this, bring it down over here. Please note that LangChain or any other framework requires all these things in order to define a tool. If you have to define a custom tool, you need all these things in order to define it. What is the first thing? The first thing is tool name. By looking at this and by looking at this definition of tool name, can you tell me what is the tool name in front of me? Yes. As of this function, the tool name is FUN. You got it? Everybody understood this? The second mandatory thing to provide, please make a note of it. First mandatory thing to have is tool name. Second mandatory thing to have is the description of the tool. Did I provide any description to this tool anywhere? Did I provide any description to the tool anywhere? No. So what you have to do is every time you create a tool, it is mandatory to provide the description. And the description will typically come as a doc string in Python just below the function block. Before any logic start, you have to write your doc string. You have to write the description of what this tool does over here. Inside the triple quotes, you have to perform that, write that description. For example, this is, or it is a multiplication tool. It takes two arguments, A and B, and returns the product. Is this part clear to all of us? Now, did I comply with this rule book, which is written over here? The first thing was tool name. I already had the tool name. The second thing I want to have is the description of the tool. Did I provide the description of the tool? Yes, I just provided the description of the tool. What is the third thing required? The third thing required is nothing but input of tool along with something called as typing. By looking at this function, can you please tell me what is the value A or what is the data type of A? Do we have any annotation for data type A or the data type of A? In this code, did I ever provide anything related to what the data type of A is going to be? I have never provided that information. In Python, recently, like a few years back, when I say a few years back, hardly 1 or 2 years back, a new logic was introduced with which I can do something called as annotation of a variable. How many variables this function takes in the input? It takes two variables in the input. In Python, they have introduced this logic of annotating the variable by writing the logic like this. This is called as annotation, type annotation logic or typing logic. What is the type of A now? By doing this, what is the type of A? The type of A is integer. What is the type of B? If I do this, type of B is integer again. What is the last important detail which I didn't perform yet? The output format. Do you see that we already have a return type? But did I provide anywhere the type of this return? Can you please tell me what should be the type of this return? No, this is not typecasting. This is not typecasting. It will not do any typecasting. It is just type annotation, type reference, not the typecasting, exactly typecasting. Even if you still provide a equal to some string value, it will take without throwing any error. All right. It is just type annotation, not typecasting. Now, in order to define that the return of this function is supposed to be an integer, the way we do that in Python is by putting a hyphen, then putting a greater than symbol, and then you mention int. All right, you put a hyphen, greater than symbol, and then put a int. What does this mean, or how do you read it? You read it in this way: function takes two arguments A and B. Type of both these arguments should be integer. And what does function return? Function also returns an integer value. Is this part clear to all of you? Is this part clear to all of you? Now, what else is there inside this implementation? What is the use of function, or what does the function do? Function performs an operation which is clearly mentioned over here in the description. You got it? What task or what operation this function performs has to be defined inside the doc string, inside this particular description. Got it? Let me try to explain this again, Mohan. What do I have here? I have a function that takes two variables. What is the type of both these variables? We can clearly see that both of them are integer in type. What kind of a value does this function return? The function returns an integer. We can also clearly see that. And what is this component representing about this function? This part represents what this function does. And what do we call it technically? We call it as the description or the doc string of this particular function. I hope this is clear now to everybody and Mohan. This is mandatory. When I say mandatory, what all are mandatory? Provide the tool description. This is mandatory. This is a mandatory requirement. This is also a mandatory requirement. Definitely without the name, function will not be defined. This is mandatory. This is mandatory, but these two things are optional. These two things are optional. It's not mandatory for you to do this type annotation. It's not mandatory to also do this return type annotation. Input argument annotation or return type annotation is not mandatory. These two things are optional. Got it? Everybody understood this? Amazing. Now let me try to show you something interesting. I'm just writing a quick question. If a user asks this question to this agent, first of all, is this an agent? Is this an agent? How do you know this is an agent? How do you know this is an agent? Yes, this is an agent because it's not a raw LLM. It's a LLM connected with a function, and we know function is nothing but a tool. Yes, because it has a tool, so we call it a agent. So simple, super duper simple. Now, tell me what will happen when the user sends this request. What is the first thing that will happen? The first thing that happens over here is this request goes to the LLM. Tell me what happens next. What happens next? Correct, Paridhi. What about others? Can somebody suggest what happens next? Sends the request to the tool. The value assigns, sends the request to the tool. Amazing. Now, please note that LLM is connected to this tool. Definitely LLM is connected to this tool. But my question to you is this a correct annotation? Like, is this the correct way of defining the tool? Is there something missing in this tool definition? Is there something mandatory missing in this tool definition? Mandatory. What is the mandatory thing missing in this tool definition without which the tool will not be described, without which the tool will not be created? The description is missing. All right. So let me try to put that description somehow over here. Multiplication tool takes two arguments. Let's say this is the description and it returns A cross B. Is it now clear? Like the tool is now having a correct description as per the requirement. Now, please note that this is not the only thing that LLM will receive. This is not the only thing LLM will receive. Do you agree LLM might be connected to 10 tools? LLM might be connected to 10 tools. LLM along with the user request, you know what else will LLM receive? LLM will also receive in the first request the tool's description. Is this part clear to all of us? LLM tool will tell this is what I do. All right. And user will say this is what you have to do. All right. User will send the instruction. User will say, can you please multiply these two numbers? Tool will say, this is what I do. I do multiplication and I request you to send me two arguments. Are you getting it? Now, what should happen next? What is the second thing that has to happen? What's the second thing that has to happen? What is the second thing that has to happen? Somebody who can guess what has to happen next? As of now, what has happened? LLM received the input. Guys, LLM just received the input. What input did LLM receive? LLM received this user prompt, and LLM has received the tool which is connected to the LLM. LLM received the tool description. Please note, the second thing that happens over here is reasoning. What is the meaning of reasoning? LLM will start thinking, processing. LLM will start processing. And with this processing and all the tool description and some more things which will go to the LLM, what will LLM decide? Can you please tell me, with this thinking, what should happen? With this thinking, what should happen? LLM should make a decision. Let me try to call the tool. Let me try to call the tool. And this is what is going to happen at the third point. The third point that happens is, yes, LLM chooses the tool. And by looking at all the details of the chosen tool, LLM will say, looks like this tool requires me to send A value, and it also requires me to send B value. Let me send the A value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me send the B value as 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. And let me call this tool called as function tool. Are you all getting this? So what are the two things which just happened inside the LLM? LLM did thinking, LLM did processing of the request, and LLM did something called as tool calling. All right. This is called as, this is very popular term. This is called as tool calling or function calling. Tool is nothing but a function, right? So I can call it as either tool calling or I can call it as function calling. Yes, thinking was done first and then tool calling was done next. Tell me what has to happen next. After this is done, after point 3 is done, what has to happen next? The task has to be performed now. Correct, Sagar. I hope all of you understand that the tool is going to take an action. Tool is going to take an action, that is, tool will execute. The tool execution happens, tool action happens. And once the tool action gets completed, the fifth thing that happens here will be the tool will return the output, or tool will return the result. Everybody understood this? This time, tool is not going to send the description. Tool is simply going to send the result. Is this part clear to all of us? Is this part clear to all of us? This is a very, very famous architecture which is used by almost all the agent systems. All agentic systems or agents use this internally. And there is a very important name to this architecture as well. This architecture is called as React architecture. I will come to the entire discussion again, the complete flow again. But first, please try to understand what we call this architecture. The question is, why do we call this architecture as React? I will explain that to you in just a moment. But first, let me try to quickly explain what has happened so far really quick. Everybody focus here. When the user sends this request, can you please tell me what will go to the LLM? Is this request is the only thing that goes to the LLM? Is this request the only thing that goes to the LLM? No. Along with this request, this tool description, all the tools which are connected to the LLM, all the tools and their description is going to go to the LLM. LLM will know what all tools are connected. LLM will also get the description of each and every single tool as an input. With that, can you please tell me, is it a good idea to connect infinite number of tools with the LLM? Is it a good idea to connect infinite number of tools with the LLM? Why? Why is it's not a good idea? You remember earlier I asked the same question to you that LLM can be connected to multiple tools. And you mentioned that time that more the number of tools I connect, better the agent becomes. But now you are saying it's not a good idea to connect infinite number of tools, multiple tools with the LLM. Yes. Do you agree that if multiple tools are connected to the LLM, along with the user prompt, can you please tell me what will also go as an input to the LLM? Along with the user prompt, is there anything else that goes to the LLM as an input? This tool one will say, this is my description. Tool 2 will say, this is my description. Tool 3 will say, this is my description. Do you all agree with this? All the tools will have their own description, and that description also goes as an input context to the large language model. Is LLM going to have a infinite context window? Will your LLM has an infinite context window? No, right? So the answer to that is, it's not just about consuming more time. The main answer over here is every LLM has a limited context window. You cannot overflow the context window of large language model by connecting infinite number of tools. If you connect infinite number of tools, after a few number of tools, LLM context window is going to be overflown and it will start throwing errors saying that I cannot handle your request. Is this part clear to all of us? So Sheikh is saying that it takes only the tools which are required. But in order for LLM to decide which tool is required, LLM should know what tools are connected. Are you getting it? LLM should know what tools are connected and what each tool does. And how does tool tell the LLM that this is what I do? Tool tells the LLM that this is what I do through the description, tool's description. Yes, amazing. Is this entire part clear to all of us? So if somebody asks you tomorrow, can I connect multiple or infinite hundreds of tools directly to a single large language model? Is that a good approach? That's not a good approach, logically speaking. Why? Because every LLM has a fixed size context window, and you should not unnecessarily bloat the context window of large language model. We'll come to that, Soumya. We'll come to that, Soumya. All right. In this discussion, we'll come. Now, we just understood that the first thing that happens is tool description along with this user prompt will go to the agent. Can you tell me what is the component called inside the agent when this is given? LLM is the first component which will be called, right? LLM is the component which will take the input of user. LLM is the component that takes the input of all the tools as well. What each tool does has to be told to, has to be shared with the LLM, and then LLM will decide which tool to call based upon the user's request. Got it? Now, what happens next after LLM receives the question? After LLM receives the question, and once LLM receives the description of the tool, what does the LLM do? What is the second thing that happens? LLM starts thinking, right? LLM starts thinking. LLM starts designing the plan that this is how I will solve this entire problem. All right, user is asking this problem. I have the access to this tool. Let me start. LLM will start thinking that what should I do in order to solve this problem? Is it clear to all of us? Is it clear to all of us? Now, what is happening? Reasoning is happening. Do you remember I told you that this architecture is called as React? The reason why we call this architecture as React, RE in React stands for reasoning. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes. The next thing that happens after input goes and after LLM is done reasoning, what will happen next? LLM will make a tool call. Please note, LLM will make a tool call. And in that tool call, LLM is going to wrap around all the arguments which are used in order to call that tool successfully. All right. LLM is going to provide, LLM is going to make a tool call, and LLM will also share the variables which are needed in order to make that tool call successfully. Is that clear to all of you? Is this part clear to all of us? Amazing. Now, when the tool call happens, what is the next step that has to be executed? What will be the next execution step? Once the tool call happens, tool executes, correct? We typically call the tool execution as action is getting taken. All right. Action is getting executed. Action is taken by the tool. And this is what this ACT represents. Is this part clear to all of us? After the tool execution completes, what happens last? After the tool execution completes, what happened last? The result is returned back to the large language model. Got it? Is this clear? Now, do you remember LLM is the intelligence layer? LLM is the intelligence layer. Now, once LLM receives the response of the tool, what should LLM do? Do you agree LLM has to check whether the response, whether the LLM received all the response required to give the response or give the final result to the user? Yes. LLM will simply check that whether I received the response or not. If I've received the response, is it good enough to send to the user? If it is not good enough to send the user, LLM is going to make another tool call maybe to some other tool, get the response. See, this is going to keep on happening until unless LLM is satisfied with the final result. And once LLM is satisfied, LLM is going to send the response to the user. Is this React architecture or React loop clear to all of you? Why do I call it as React loop? Is it a correct thing to say? Is it a single time React happens or reasoning and action happens? Or is it like going to keep on happening until unless LLM is satisfied with the response from the tools? Yes, it keeps on happening. Iteration keeps on repeating. Correct. Yes, till the satisfaction. I hope this is clear. Let me try to take a small example to explain this to you. All right. You remember I spoke about we all are intelligent beings, right? We all are intelligent beings. If somebody asks us a question, what's the current time? What do we do in case if somebody asks me this question? Do I make time up myself by using my intelligence, or I look at a tool? I call a tool. I will typically call a tool, and I can definitely, as of today, most of us, we rather than using the actual watches, we typically use a mobile device, right? I'll try to look at my phone. I'll try to look at my phone. What if the phone battery is dead? What if the phone battery is dead? Maybe in that case, do you agree that I will reason again? Do you agree? See, a user asked me, somebody asked me this question. I started thinking, I already know that I have a phone, I have a watch. So let me try to first look at the phone. Looks like phone is dead. Looks like phone is dead. Let me reason again. I also have another tool. I also have another tool. Maybe let's say a watch. So what will I do? I'll use that tool in order to get the response. And once I've found the final response, I will send the response back to the user. You see that? I hope you are able to understand that this is a continuous iteration which will keep on happening until unless the final response is received. Any questions here? If not, can you please rate your understanding about this? Yes, I can also ask a friend. Very good, Maria. I can also ask a friend, right? And that friend call is like a tool call to me, right? I'm just using my friend as a tool so that they can tell me the time. But somebody should be there beside me. You remember? My phone is dead. I can't even call my friend. So somebody has to be beside me in case if I want to make that call. Yes, Venkatesh, that's a very good question. Typically, we actually design the systems. In case if you are designing the production grade systems, you will uh, uh, take into account the timeouts, retries. You remember I mentioned the phone is dead. In real-time systems, you will typically make API calls. And when you make API calls, sometimes APIs are going to be busy and they will simply throw an error saying that there is a network latency or something. In that case, we will keep on doing retries multiple times. All right. And now, how many times should you do the retry? How many, or for how much time should you wait for the response? All of that has to be actually configured while designing this entire agentic AI system. All right. I won't be able to talk about that in more detail in this session because it's a simpler version of how you design the first agent. But in case if you have to actually go into the production and build something for production, you have to actually account for those things as well and many more things apart from that. What if tool execution is happening appropriately, but tool fails in between? In case if the tool throws an error, how do you handle that? These are the actual questions which will be asked to you in the interview. If somebody nowadays, I'm interviewing a lot of people for agentic AI systems. I typically ask those questions in the interview in case if I'm trying to hire somebody really good who has actually seen the real time systems. All right. We typically cover all these things in our course, like how do you account for all these issues in case if tool is not working, or maybe let's say if there is a latency issue, or if let's say the tool is not responsive, how do you account for all these issues? Is something that is for the production grade systems. And we typically, it takes a little time also for you to understand those things, which cannot be covered in this discussion. With that, coming back to our discussion over here, a very, very good question, Venkatesh. Thank you so much for that. Now, coming back, are we all now clear with what React is? Are we all now clear with what React is? Yes. Shrushti, yes, that can happen. That can actually happen. And in one of our production grade systems, that had happened already. You know what happened? We actually had a bug in our system like somewhere like 1 year back when we were designing similar kind of a system, an agentic system. And because of that bug, what happened? LLM kept on calling tools again and again without getting satisfied ever. And it was falling into an infinite loop. See, whenever a loop comes, loop can have a problem of getting stuck into the iteration forever. And because of that, like it was catastrophic, as in like we all know every single LLM call. What is the problem with every single LLM call? Every single LLM call is going to be heavy on my wallet. You agree with that? Because every single LLM call is going to take input tokens and generate some output tokens, and every single input output token is going to be charged on my bank account. And if your agent somehow gets stuck in a infinite loop, you can expect getting a huge bill for a single call made by somebody, and because of a bug in your system, it can be in an infinite loop unnecessarily. In that case, LLM has to decide. For example, over here, do you remember that same job can be done by both watch as well as the phone? If somebody asks me the current time, I can tell the current time by either looking at the phone or by looking at the watch. In that case, we typically go for maybe one of the tools rather than both the tools. Or even if you look at both the tools, that's completely fine. So it is LLM's job to decide which tool to call. LLM is the intelligent, your agent's intelligent partner or your agent's brain to decide what has to be done. Think of, see, we are calling this combination as a agent, right? LLM and the tool. Think of LLM as the brain of your agent, whereas tools as nothing but the hands of your agent. Tools allow your agent to do stuff, whereas LLM allow your agent to think. Your LLM allows your agent to reason or think or do problem solving. No, no, no. It doesn't happen in that way, Sakshikant. It doesn't happen in that way. You have to actually give a system prompt saying that In case if you have multiple tools that does the same thing, try to choose the tool based upon their efficiency. Some kind of implementation like that has to happen from your side as a developer. Got it? So how do we fix that infinite loop problem? There are many ways. Let me not get into that right now. There are many ways. We typically, how we fixed that infinite loop problem, we actually converted that entire system into a AI workflow using LangGraph. And second thing we did, wherever there was a chance of infinite loop, we tried keeping a max iteration so that beyond that max iteration, LLM will not unnecessarily keep getting caught. For loop, we kept a max iteration. For example, after 25 iteration, if the response is not getting generated within 25 tool calls, just terminate the loop and go to the next step. Yes, the base condition is nothing but maximum iteration over there. It's really good to see that most of you are able to think about this interesting idea. Any other questions? How can we make the agent take actions based upon the query if it should be answered generally or follow strict rules to reply? We actually account for that separately, Santosh. Like, as I mentioned before, you have to actually start thinking about building an AI workflow, right? If you have to build agentic AI workflows, you have to start thinking from the LangGraph's perspective rather than only the LangChain's perspective. If you can remember, yesterday we discussed about that there exists something called as LangGraph. Yesterday or day before, I mentioned that there exists something called as LangGraph, which provides you an access to build AI workflows as well. In that case, definitely LLM is going to generate an incorrect response if something like that happens, Sakshita. All right, but we typically never let that happen by building a workflow and by setting up, you remember system prompts? I hope you remember the system prompt. So you can also define the system prompt saying that these are all the tools, these are all the things the system can do. If something apart from this gets asked by the user, directly just respond back to the user saying that we cannot take your request. You can handle that through system prompts as well. Mahima, you can plan to keep a router kind of architecture there rather than thinking about a single agentic system. You can actually start thinking from the AI workflow again. Like you can have a router that actually helps LLM decide what has to be done. Either it has to maybe return a creative synthesis, or maybe let's say it has to do a lookup on a document. It can be easily done using a router architecture. And it sits on top of the agentic system. All right. So you typically orchestrate. So the answer to that question in simple terms is orchestration. You try to think about the orchestration layer. Okay. Now let's try to come here. I hope you understand this diagram. Just look at this and try to understand. Just try to think. I have already discussed about this. You give a prompt. What does LLM do? LLM thinks, reasons. LLM calls the tool, right? When the tool calling happen, action will be taken here. All right. There can be multiple tools connected. Tools will take an action and the observation will be returned to the LLM. LLM will reason again, make the tool call, and keep on doing this until unless LLM is satisfied to generate the final output. All right. We will create a system like this. We'll put a model. We'll connect that model with a tool. And LLM can either decide to call the tool or LLM will simply throw the final response when it is satisfied with the tool output. Hope we all are fine with this and we can move on to the next step, which is nothing but doing the implementation. Would you like me to share the code file just like yesterday in the Discord so that you can start writing the implementation parallelly with me? Will that be fine? All right, perfect. So let me do that. Let me share it on Discord. Everybody, please open your Discord and please get the file from there. I'll drop it right away. Let me know if you can see the message in Discord. I've just dropped the message. Were you able to receive the file? I just dropped this message. Please drop a reaction to this to ensure to this message on Discord so that I know that you have received and you are able to open it successfully. Wonderful. Can we start coding? Wonderful. Let's start coding then. Please confirm what do you see on the screen. Please confirm if you can see the screen, and if yes, can you please confirm what do you see on the screen? Do you see a Jupyter notebook open in on my screen? Everybody able to see the Jupyter notebook on my screen? Yes? Wonderful. So let me try to go to the project number 3. Yes, let me go to project number 3. When you extract this particular file's content, you should be able to see a file called as IPYNB. Do you remember yesterday I've already created a folder called as keys? Everybody remembers that we have already created a folder called as keys yesterday? Yes? I just copy pasted that keys folder over here as well. All right. I want you to do the same. Please try to keep your keys folder, copy paste it from there to this particular project number 3. Once this is done, please open your file, the file which has been shared with you, so that we can start doing the first implementation. Please come to this place where you can see a code that says pip install LangChain Cohere. I will wait over here. Mahima, please let me know once this is opened. Drop some message, acknowledgement, so that I can proceed from here. Can I proceed? Thank you, Mahima. What about Kumari-san? I hope I am correctly pronouncing your name. Sorry if I mispronounced. Wonderful. So let's try to do the first step. The first step is to install LangChain Cohere. Do you remember that rather than LangChain Cohere, we used something else so far? Can you please tell me which module did we use for using or utilizing LLM? Grok. Perfect. But still, I would suggest you to keep it installed on your system just in case if you require it, we'll be able to utilize it as well. All right. For now, I don't use Cohere, at least for now, for time being. So let me try to move to the next step. The next step is to define the chat model. To define the chat model, can you please help me with the code? Can somebody help me with the code? I already have LangChain Grok installed on my system. Tell me what is the implementation? What implementation should I use? Can I go to LangChain underscore Grok? Let's go to LangChain Grok. What should I import from here? What should I import from here? Please review, refresh your memory and try to have a look at yesterday's implementation. Tell me what should I import from here? I should import from LangChain Grok. I should import chat Grok. Can you please confirm if this is the same thing we need to import from LangChain Grok? Everybody, yesterday's code, please try to refer the yesterday's code. Try to identify where we defined the chat model. Step number 2 is something we were using to define the chat model. I'm defining the same chat model here. If this is clear, tell me what are we supposed to do next after importing chat grok? What are we supposed to do next after defining chat grok? You remember API key has to be loaded? Yes, API key. Amazing. So the code to do that was with open. I need to provide the path. The path was keys slash dot. Let me try to check the folder name. Keys, and inside the keys, this is a file. I'll just take the file name and put it over here. With open this as file, I will create a grok API key, which is equal to f dot read. I'm just reading through this file, this API key. Once this is done, what will I do? I'll create a large language model, an object of this particular class. And what should I do? I should provide the model. Sorry, what were we supposed to provide here? Anybody? The first thing we have to provide is the API key. What is the API key? API key is Grok API key. Second thing we need to provide, let me try to show you yesterday's code. We were supposed to provide the model. This is the yesterday's code. We initialized the model here. After providing the API key, I need to provide the model, right? In this case, let me try to copy it from here and put it just like this over here. Let's confirm if this LLM is working fine or not. I'll just say LLM.invoke and simply say a hi to it. This is to identify if the LLM is working or not. Can you please look at my screen and tell me if this is a working system? Yes, wonderful. Can you guess what will happen if I just uncommented this line? Rather than saying hi, I'm trying to say, tell me the current updates about this. You remember what will happen in case if I run this? What will happen in case if I run this? Yes, it won't answer. What is the reason why it won't answer? What was the reason behind it not answering this question? Because it doesn't have the access to real-time information. Remember that? Do you remember that? It doesn't have the access to real-time information and hence it has to fail answering this question. Let me confirm that. Let me run this. See, it clearly says, I am sorry, I cannot help you with that. But that's it. That is the only response it has generated for us. Understood? Yes, it doesn't have the access to real-time information. Now, in order to fix this, what do I do? What do I do in order to fix this? What should I do in order to fix this? Connect it to the tool. Which tool can I connect it with? Can I connect it with Google search in order to fix this issue? Yes. How many of you know that there exists an alternative to Google search called as DuckDuckGo search? There is an alternative to Google search called as DuckDuckGo search. There is a DuckDuckGo search. In short, we also call it as DDGS. If you do not know it, Please remember that. Apart from Google search, there are multiple other search engines. There is one organic search engine which is also called as DuckDuckGo search. All right. Now, one good thing is LangChain has this tool implemented internally. I do not have to implement it myself. Are you getting it? LangChain has already implemented this. I do not have to implement this tool myself. In order to utilize that implementation from LangChain, please uncomment this particular statement, pip install ddgs and pip install LangChain community. Run this really quick. It will take a few seconds. And once the installation is completed, let me again comment this so that I do not see that entire output. Once this implementation is completed, feel free to run this next statement as well. I'm going to a module called as LangChain community. And under that community, I have this tool called as DuckDuckGo search run. I will create an instance. You see, this is the instantiation object creation of that tool. Once this is done, do you remember every tool will have a name? Every tool will have a description. Every tool will also have the argument list of argument input arguments. If you run this, you will be able to see the name of tool is this. You will be able to see that the description of the tool set by LangChain is a wrapper around DuckDuckGo search, useful when you need to answer questions about current event. Input should be a search query. And what is the search tool argument? It clearly says that search tool argument is something like this. This is what tool takes in the input. LLM will take care of it. We don't have to do anything at all in order to fix it. Can somebody guess what has to be done next? I have a tool. What is the name of tool here? Search tool variable. I've created a variable that contains the tool. I have a large language model as well, named as LLM. What do I need to do in order to build an agent? I need to put together these two things. Are you getting it? I need to put together LLM. I need to put together this LLM with this search tool. Yes, connect them together. Amazing. Now, how do I connect them together? In order to connect them together, do you remember I told you that there exists something called as LangChain? There was LangChain core and there exists LangChain as well. LangChain contains this option of creating an agent for us. I can go to LangChain agents, import create agent. And under create agent, what do I provide? I provide a model. What is model? Model is LLM. And why do we have a list here? Can somebody guess why do we have a list here? I have tools equal to a list containing a single tool called a search tool. Why do I have a list here? Why do I have a list here? Why am I providing a single tool in the form of list? Yes, because we can provide multiple. Yes, correct, Nishita. We can provide multiple tools. Correct, Soumya. We can provide more tools. And that is the reason why we typically provide the tools in the form of list. Model is singular, whereas this can contain multiple tools. I hope this part is clear. Now, once the agent is ready, can you tell me what is the Python or what does LangChain speaks about? LangChain speaks about calling any component using invoke method. You remember that? LangChain says that whenever you have to call a component, you use invoke method. And I hope you are able to see exactly the same over here. Yes or no? Can you please tell me if I have a template? For template, if I want to call the invoke method, what is the input to this invoke method? What input should I provide in case if I am calling invoke on template? Invoke should take, invoke takes a dictionary. You remember that? Invokes take a dictionary with key value as the placeholders. Remember that? Templates invoke, it takes a dictionary with key values as placeholders. Placeholders defined inside the template. Similarly, please note that for agent, Invoke takes a dictionary as well with a key named as messages. All right. And to this messages key, you have to provide your prompt. Please have a look at this. I'm trying to simply say agent.invoke, providing the messages key, and messages key has to take the user prompt. I'm passing the same user prompt. Tell me the current updates from this particular story. And once the response is generated, I'm trying to take the response. I'm printing the complete response as it is. Can somebody guess what will happen whenever I send this? What will be called first? What will be called first whenever I call this using the LLM? LLM will be called. Yes. What will LLM generate? Can you please tell me what will LLM do? LLM will think, right? LLM will think. And after thinking, what should LLM do? After thinking, LLM should make a tool call, right? Do you agree? LLM should make a tool call after thinking. First, the user is going to ask a question. LLM will generate a response saying that call the tool. Third thing that happens is tool executes and tool generates a response. Got it? You got it? So let me try to take this entire thing, put it here, and rather than asking this entire question, let me just say hi. In order to answer this hi, do you think there exists, like, is there a need of search tool in order to answer for this hi? If I send this hi, is there a need to call the search tool? No. Who will decide whether to call the search tool or not? Who will decide whether to call the search tool or not? LLM has to decide. Let's try to see what happens when we run this. Let me run this. You see this? Human message. Hi. AI message. How can I help you today? AI didn't call any tool. AI directly generated the response for us. But if I ask a question like this, a tool has to be called. All right. LLM has to do the reasoning to call the tool. Let me try to run this. See, it is taking some time. Why it must be taking time? Because maybe tool call is happening internally, right? Earlier, the response was generated immediately, but now the response took some time to be generated. See what happened? Human message was, tell me the current updates on Sia Goel and Ketan Agarwal's case. Can you please tell me what has happened? What did AI do? Did AI generate a response directly for me, or is AI saying, please make a tool call? Tool call, right? It is making a tool call. Which tool is it calling? Is it calling a multiplication tool? No, looks like it is making a DuckDuckGo search tool call. And do you see that this tool requires a query? Even though I have asked this question, it has rephrased the query to something like this. Say, Sia Goel Ketan Agarwal case update. Are we all able to understand this? Now, once the tool call happened, do you agree tool will make an action? And after taking an action, it will generate a response. You see this? Tool has generated a response, and this is the response from the tool. Everybody understood? Now, what happens next after the tool call is done? Tool, like after the tool sends the response, AI captures the response, AI thinks again. Either AI will generate the response for you, or it will make the tool call again in case if it is not satisfied. You remember that? And what is happening? Is the AI satisfied with this tool message? Is the AI satisfied with this tool message? No. Looks like AI is making a tool call again, right? See, it made a tool call by changing the phrase, changing the query. It is now making a tool call saying that Sia Goel case latest news, July 2026. Making a tool call again because maybe it needs something from July 2026. The response was generated like this. Can you please, by looking at this, tell me whether the AI is still like, is it satisfied or making a tool call again? Yes, it is making a tool call again. Got it? Now, it is saying July 2026, Sia Goel, Ketan Agarwal court case. Update July 2026 news. Something it is again asking. The tool call happened. After the tool call happened, tell me, is the AI again asking for the tool call, or did it generate the final response for me? Yes, it is simply generating the final response. It has generated a very detailed report. So it is saying on this date, something like this has happened. On this date, something like this has happened. On this date, something like this has happened. On this date, this has happened. And so on and so forth. It has given me a very detailed response. Even though you see this magic of agentic system, even though I never trained LLM on 2026 data, still I'm able to get the response on 2026 events without even training any LLM by writing simply few lines of code. Got it? Are we all able to understand and appreciate this entire implementation? Wonderful. Can you tell me if this system is still capable of doing complex mathematical calculation? Is this system still capable of doing complex mathematical calculation? If not, can you tell me what should I do over here to make it capable of mathematical complex calculations? If I have to make it capable to do complicated mathematical calculation, what should I do? I should provide the scientific calculator tool. Amazing. Very good. But that tool doesn't exist inside LangChain community. LangChain community contains DuckDuckGo search, but that tool doesn't have exist. For that, we have to make our own tool. Wonderful. Are you all getting this idea? I need to make my own tool in case if the tool doesn't exist. Are you ready to see how to create a custom tool? If a tool doesn't exist, we also should know how to create a custom tool. Let's try to now learn how to create a custom tool ourselves. I will write the logic of creating the custom tool here. All right. If everybody is understanding, please drop a thumbs up and also rate your understanding about this entire concept on a scale of 1 to 5. Perfect. Now, the first thing I will do, can you tell me what is the first thing I should do in case if I want to build a multiplication tool? How do I create a multiplication tool? I define a Python function, right? You remember? No. First, before calling the function, I need to define the function. So what will I do? I'll say define a function. Let's call that function. What do you want to call that function? Anybody can you please suggest what do you want me to call the function? Let's call it as calculator. Rather than directly saying multiplication, let's call it as calculator. Okay. Calculator. Tell me, what do I pass to the calculator? What do I pass to the calculator? Variable. How many variables should I pass for multiplication? How many variables? Yes, two variables. Let's call that as a comma b. That's it. Tell me, what should I write? What logic should I write inside the function? What logic should I write within the function? I should write return a cross b. Now, in order to convert this function to a tool, agent tool, I need to go to LangChain. I need to go to langchain.tools and import something called as tool. And after importing this tool, I need to decorate this entire method. I need to decorate this entire method with this tool. And it is done using this way. Everybody understood, like, why did I do this? I have to convert this raw Python function into a tool. And to do that, I'm trying to decorate it with this tool operator, this tool decorator, and that tool decorator can be found inside the LangChain tools implementation. If I run this, can somebody tell me what should go, like, should it run or should something go wrong? Should it run or should something go wrong? What about description? Wonderful. Do you remember I told you whenever you create a tool, there are two things mandatory. One is tool error. One is tool name Another is tool description. Let me click on run button and see what happens. See, it is throwing an error. What is the error? Let me scroll down to see the last line of this error. It says function must have a doc string. If description not provided, it will throw an error. Everybody remembers that I already spoke about this in the notes, that description is mandatory. How should I provide the description and where should I provide the description? Should I provide the description after the return statement? Should I provide the description after the return statement? No. I have to write description immediately as the first line of this function. The first line of the function has to be the description, and description will go inside these triple quotation. It can be single triple quotation or it can be double quotation as well. Is everybody able to understand this? Is everybody able to understand this? Amazing. What should I give? What kind of a description should I give here? What kind of a description should I give here? Yes. Yes, correct. It should be a text description, but what should be the description? Yes, let's say this is a multiplication tool. This is a multiplication tool. It takes two arguments and return a response. Or instead of response, let me say returns the product. Is it easy to understand? Is it easy to understand? Do you remember there were two more things which are good to do? Not mandatory to do, but good to do in case if you are defining the tools. What are those two extra things which are good to do? What were the good to do things? Yes, define the type. Maybe let's say integer is of A is of integer type, B is of integer type. And the whole method, the fourth point was this method returns hyphen and greater than symbol and put the type of variable it returns. Is this part clear? Is this part clear? Wonderful. Let's click on run button and let's expect the error to disappear. Let me try to do that. See, the error disappears and I am able to run this implementation without any issues. Now, the question is, if you scroll up, do you remember I earlier imported the DuckDuckGo search and I was able to run all of this. What is the tool name? What is the tool description? What is the tool argument? I was able to run all of this through this search tool. Let's try to see if these properties becomes available. I will just copy paste that and replace search tool with the calculator name, calculator description, calculator argument. Let's try to click on run button. And do you see something interesting happening here? Right? Calculator has a name. So the tool name is calculator. Description is the same description which was provided here. And arguments are A and B. We have given A as integer type, B as integer type, and the same thing is happening over here as well. It clearly specifies that A and B, the type of A and B is integer. I hope you all are able to understand this. If yes, can you please tell me what is the next step to do after the tool has been constructed? What should I do next? What should I do? Argument means nothing but inputs. All right. Input to the method, input to the tool. Invoke. But what should I invoke? What should I invoke? Correct, Santosh. Before invoking the agent, do you agree that I need to add the calculator tool into the agent's tool list? Agent had a tool list. You remember where did I receive the agent? I'll go to langchain.agent. What should I import from here? Create agent, right? So langchain.agents, create agent. After importing create agent, I will create an agent. Agent is equal to create agent. And what do I pass? Can somebody tell me what do I do in order to create the agent? What are the two things which are needed to be provided to an agent? A model. Which variable holds my model? Which variable holds my model? LLM. LLM is a variable that holds my model. And after model, I need to provide tools. Remember, tools. It's not a single tool. Multiple tools can be provided, and these tools can be kept inside the list. What are the two tools in my notebook? The first tool is the search tool. Let me take the name of that tool, get the name of the tool, search tool. And the second tool is calculator. So let me put the search tool variable here and calculator variable over here. I hope this is clear to all of us. Let me compile this code. Let me click on run button. Once the code executes, I'm good to go with calling this agent. How do I call this agent? I call this agent using invoke method, right? I call the agent using invoke method, and invoke expects us to provide a dictionary. All right, so let's try to take this. Let's try to take this. Come here, say hi. Can somebody guess, will the agent call the tool or not? Will the LLM choose to call the tool when I run this or not? No. Let me try to run this and see whether it happens or not. See, I have a human message and immediately AI is simply saying, this is the response. Let's try to do this invocation again. But now, rather than simply saying hi, let me try to ask, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiplied with 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. Let's run this. What do you expect to happen in this situation? What do you expect to happen in this situation? Yes, a call has to be done. A call to which tool? Will it call search tool or will it call calculator tool? It will call the calculator tool. And is the calculator tool going to be called without any arguments or with two arguments? How will you call the calculator tool? Will you call it without arguments or with arguments? With two arguments. Maybe first argument will contain this value, second argument will contain this value. Let's try to see whether it works the way we expect it to work or not. See, human message. What is this? These two, like multiplication of these two numbers. AI took a decision to call the calculator where A is given this value, whereas B is given this value. Tool, once AI calls the tool, tool will execute, returns the response. And when the tool returns the response, it will be given to AI. AI will decide whether to again call the tool. Is there a need to again call the tool or directly generate the response? It directly generated the response. It clearly says, see, it is putting the whole return of the tool. You see this? Earlier, my LLM was dumb to perform the mathematical calculation. Now, LLM is able to make the calculation just with the help of this calculator tool. If I ask it this question, let's see what happens. I don't know. Maybe DuckDuckGo search might be able to give me the response or not. Let's try to find it out. I've already executed this. You can see the star, meaning the code is executing right now. Hopefully it will work. So something happened. So when I asked this question, it called the DuckDuckGo search. It is searching for current temperature in Hyderabad. You see that? And then it returned this response. Again, it asks another question. Again, it asks another question saying that this is a date today. Can you please give me the temperature on this date in Hyderabad? See, it kept on calling the tool. It kept on calling the tool. That's why it was taking some time. It kept on calling the tool. So many times it has called the tool. It has called the tool so many times. And then finally, it gave me a response saying that as of 14th August 2026, temperature in Hyderabad is this much. And what source did it use? It used the recent weather forecast listing for Hyderabad on this particular date. Are we all able to understand this? Why the tool is DuckDuckGo search only for researching? Are we having other tools? Yes, you have many other tools apart from DuckDuckGo search. The reason I've kept DuckDuckGo search here is because it's a very simple integration directly available inside LangChain. But in reality, I would use something more reliable. Yes, as Mahidran has mentioned, Kashyap has mentioned, that there exists something called as SERP Tevili, and many such other search engine tools APIs are available. We can use any one of them, or even we can use MCP servers for Tevili or SERP as well. Amazing. So that was all from my side. This is how you create an agent. An agent is something that is connected to the tools. LLM, if you connect them with the tools, it becomes an agent. And by default, your agent might not be able to do so many things, but you have seen today what your agent can actually do. Things which cannot be done by a raw LLM can be easily done by your agents. I hope all of us enjoyed these 5 days. I hope you learned something new from me. I hope at Innomatics we were able to help you understand new things in easy to understand way. And if yes, uh, congratulations to all of you learning so many new things. Generative AI, agentic AI is something which is the hottest topic today. Like almost 12 to 13 years back, when I started my journey in data science, I used to speak about machine learning with my parents. When my parents used to ask me, like, what you do, I used to tell them that I implement machine learning. I work with pandas. My parents used to call me crazy because they never heard about machine learning, deep learning, and all these things back then. But I hope you understand that today generative AI is so popular. Every news channel is talking about generative AI. A lot of parents want their kids to actually have a really good career in generative AI, agentic AI, data science, and all of that, right? So this is the best time to actually learn these things. Even though you are completely from non-technical background, I would suggest you to learn generative AI to a certain level so that in case tomorrow, if your field or your non-technical domain gets any exposure to agentic AI systems or generative AI systems, you will be able to properly take a decision for yourself and will be able to utilize maybe for as a productivity tool or maybe as a person who can actually build the AI agents or AI systems, you will be able to take appropriate decisions using generative AI, agentic AI. With that, thank you so much for attending and being such a interesting crowd, interesting people. Um, I wish you all a very best for your future endeavors, as well as in case if you need any support from my side, from Innomatics, feel free to reach out to us. I will also share, as somebody is asking, I'll also share my LinkedIn profile. And today's attendance, just wait for a second. I will share the attendance form as well so that you can mark your attendance as well. Yes. So here is my profile. Please feel free to connect with me. Looking forward to having really interesting conversations with you. I will share my screen for you to mark the attendance. And everybody, please note that in case if you want to keep yourself updated with the recent uh, events we conduct, like we conduct a lot of events every now and then, please ensure that you follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube in order to get the recent updates. Please ensure that you are active on Discord community as well, so that you keep getting those updates on a regular basis. Just give me a second. I'm sharing my screen so that you can mark your attendance. And please feel free to leave after you are done marking your attendance. In case if you have any question, also feel free to ask those questions. Yes, Pawan, I will share the Jupyter notebook directly in the Discord community. Please get the code from there. Fine? Yes. Yes, I will share the updated code. So how was your overall experience? I see a lot of you have shared your experiences. Thank you so much, everyone. Um, how do I replace DuckDuckGo with Tavily or Google's Server API in LangChain? See, there are multiple ways, Mahima. Maybe I will try to see if we can do another workshop on top of this workshop for all the candidates who have attended this workshop. Maybe we can plan to do something else, which is a little more advanced compared to what we have done here. In that advanced workshop, maybe I can talk about how do you do things in a production environment, and how do you actually connect these things together. For example, you were asking like how do you connect Tavily or how do you connect Server API, or just in case if you want to connect MCP, actual MCP servers, how do you build MCP servers? All of this I'll try to see if I can discuss in that next workshop. All right. For now, please scan this QR code, mark your attendance, and in case if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much, Arpita, for your feedback. Even I'm definitely going to miss each and every single person. Please, let's connect if possible over social media, maybe LinkedIn, in case if you want to stay connected, so that in case if you need any help or anything, we will be there to guide you. Ensure that you are on Discord and keep looking at our Discord community for any extra content required. Always feel free to ping us. And as I mentioned before, this was just a 5 days demonstration of what we are capable of, right? Just imagine if you spend almost 6 to 7 months with us, how much will you be able to learn? We understand that there is a huge gap currently in universities and colleges, wherein lecturers are trying to upskill themselves in generative AI, agentic AI, and making you understand how deep learning, machine learning can be implemented. But we have the first-hand experience of AI, ML, generative AI, agentic AI, and all these niche domains. And we also provide a good placement support along with IT certification if you do the course directly from us. We will share all the details like quiz results, quiz scores with you. Just wait for maybe a couple of days to receive that detail, the results, quiz results. Maybe through email, you will receive it. Yes, I will share the Jupyter notebook, the updated Jupyter notebook. After my code, like whatever code I've written, I'll share that Jupyter notebook with you on Discord. All right, just wait for 5 more minutes after the session gets completed. Within 5 minutes, I'll drop it on Discord. Thank you so much, Prajwal. Uh, Funny, I took classes for DS back in 2021. Are you going to take any classes for any badge, or can I get your new updated course videos? Yes, a lot has changed. That is true, funny. But I'm not taking any classes right now. Like there are like few other things we are working on at Innomatics, but we have a very good team of trainers who are taking data science generative AI classes. I would suggest you to get in touch with our team and try to see what we can do for you. All right. So we have some recorded content as well. Just try to explore the possibility. Just call us and try to see. You must be having some number you must be connected with. try to check with one of our counselors and see what can be done for that situation. All right, amazing. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Shruti. Likewise. Certificates, can somebody tell me when are we going to provide the certificate? I see the same question getting repeated many times. Yes, Wednesday, end of the day, you will receive the certificate. So please wait till that day. In case if you do not receive your certificate, also please remember we are available on Discord. All right. You can drop a message to us on Discord. Sometimes, you know what happens? Your certificate will go into the spam, or sometimes your email will be incorrect because of which it will bounce while sending your certificate. So please drop a message in case if you do not receive a certificate by Wednesday end of the day. All right. Cloud computing and DevOps domain. Dikshit, we do not provide DevOps and cloud computing courses right now, but wherever possible, for example, in generative AI, wherever cloud is required, we deliver that part. Wherever DevOps or LLM ops in generative AI, we typically use LLM ops, right? For LLMs, we use LLM ops. For machine learning, we use ML ops. So wherever these things are required, we typically teach those operational stuff during our courses. Yeah. Khushi, please feel free to call us to explore more about the course. Um, all right, so you can get more details from our team about fees and many more things. Apart from what the courses, we provide many more services parallelly, like placement service. Apart from that, you will get guest lectures. You will get a really good faculty who will deliver you data science, generative AI subjects as well. Job market. We can maybe discuss about it, but I think that will be a very long discussion if I start it now. Maybe let me try to keep it for maybe the next session, if you permit, so that whenever we do the next session, I will definitely discuss about it. Niranjan, did you attend all the 5 days? Just want to check. And did you appear for the quiz as well? Did you appear for the quiz as well? I hope you marked your attendance as well. If all of that is in place, you will definitely receive a certificate. Okay. One day registration is completely fine. Like if you are not able to mark your attendance for a single day, is completely fine. You will still, in case if you have been active, you will still receive the excellence certificate. Sure. Arpita, you can drop this feedback on the Discord so that we can plan it accordingly. All right. Nikhil, I just like answered that question. No need to worry about registration. If you have been like attending regularly for the last 5 days, you will receive your certificate. Okay. Python workshop. Python workshop. That's interesting. We'll see what I can do with Python. Yes, I am on LinkedIn. First of all, this is our LinkedIn page. And if you want to directly connect with me, here is my LinkedIn. Prajakta, in case if you want to learn about data analysis, I think 1 or 2 weeks before I did a workshop on data analytics, maybe a single day workshop. I think it was titled as Data Science Workshop or something. Please go back to our YouTube and try to find a video. There I discussed in detail about what data analysis is. So you can check it over there. It is a short workshop, like a single day discussing about the data analytics. On the second day, I discussed about generative AI. So you just look at the day one. I think you will get a fair idea about what data analytics is all about. We'll see, Sahil, like depending upon your response as well as your engagement, we'll try to see. uh, Birla, definitely, Arpita will keep on updating via Discord. Uh, Not sure, Shrushti. Maybe the credit goes to my parents on that. Where is this college, by the way? I see a lot of people from Birla College. Certificate आपको email पे मिलेगा. By Wednesday, you will receive the certificate. Thank you so much, Gauravi. Yes, you can leave now. Everybody, please feel free to leave. I'm just waiting for people to ask their questions in case if somebody has any. In case if you do not have any questions, you can feel free to leave. Yes, definitely, Pravina. Here it is. Please check the chat. Maria, as of now, we didn't decide the next workshop, but as soon as we decide the next workshop, you will definitely receive a notification. Kalyan Maharashtra. Okay. Okay. So Birla College is in Kalyan Maharashtra. Okay. We'll see what we can do, Anjali. I'll try to check with my team if we are already connected with Birla College. I'm not very sure, but let me try to check with my team. Thank you, Sahil. If anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I will end the session now. Thank you so much, Arpita, for all your blessings. Uh, Anjali, I'm not a professor, but I'm a teacher out of passion, and I work currently as a CTO with my organization, Inomatics Research Labs. Thank you, Gauri. Amazing. So looks like there are no more questions. I've missed the first 2 days, but I've completed the lectures. So will I get the certificate? I'll check Joshi, Karan. I'll check that maybe. And see, my team is definitely going to do like properly provide the certificates based upon the attendance. All right. So please don't worry about that. In case if you didn't attend one day, I think we will definitely consider you for certificate. One day is fine, but we'll see. Karan, I would suggest you to also write me on my Discord. Like you can just drop me a message on Discord so that I can see what can be done. Definitely, like if you are into research, research is something definitely going to be fruitful. It's a very painful path, but at the same time, something which gives us new things to work on. For example, generative AI, agentic AI, all of this came out of research. Machine learning came out of research. Deep learning, all of this, right? Thank you, Arman. Where do you find genuine internships? Anjali, we do internships at Innomatics Research Labs every year. We conduct internships at least once or twice. Uh, you have seen the 5 days session, right? Internship will be very similar to this 5 days session, but across or it will be over a period of 2 months. All right. No, no, no. See, it won't be any like stipend will not be provided because it's a completely free service we do by ensuring that you receive the highest quality education from our side. But for internship, you have to appear for our internship assessment. It will be an examination conducted. It's completely free. There is not even a single penny we ask students to pay for the internship. We have seen a lot of bluff happening in the market. People will keep on like charging for internships, whereas even though we have to spend a lot of money in training you, making you up and ready for the internships and jobs, we do that completely out of our pocket and make you industry ready. So we conduct these internships almost every year. Whenever the internship happens, the first place where we announce our internship will be on Discord. So please ensure that you stay active on Discord or at least keep a notification open so that whenever we announce about our internship, you get to know about it. Most likely, we will do the internships in the month of September, October, or November. So please ensure that you keep yourself available during that time in case if you're interested for internships. And our internships will be majorly titled around generative AI, agentic AI. And we have been doing this since almost 6 years now. Like every year, we keep doing these internships completely free of cost, not even a single penny will be collected from you. Yes, thank you so much, Anjali. Um, Sravya, you can see the first thing I would suggest you to do before you do an internship is to learn something. All right. Try to become good at least one skill. It can be a full stack development. I would suggest you to try at least either of these two things. And if possible, try to do both these things simultaneously. Try to learn full stack development and also try to learn data science. All right. These two domains have a very good future as well as like if you know how to or if you can learn it maybe somehow definitely a lot of opportunities will definitely open. All right, try to at least learn something and then do an internship. It will be more helpful that way. How will you know about the internship? We will drop a notification in Discord as well as LinkedIn about internship. Full stack in which language? A good question, Mohan. As of now, there are 2 to 3 languages which are very popular in full stack domain. There are many more, but Python is one of the languages which is very popular. Second is Java, and third is JavaScript. All right. So when I say JavaScript, I mean to say Express or maybe some other similar kind of a framework in the backend. Front end will anyhow be JavaScript based, like a React front end. Even if you are learning Python full stack, you have to anyhow learn JavaScript and Python. If you are learning Java full stack, you will learn Java as well as JavaScript because your front end will anyhow remain in JavaScript, but your backend can be in Python, can be in Java. So pick one language of your choice and start learning. Python is a simpler language compared to Java. So you can make a decision as per your interest, as well as in case if you have not started learning any language yet, I would suggest you to look into Python. because it also has a really good future when it comes to agentic systems, AI systems as well. Databases, you can learn any databases. See, there are two databases which everybody should definitely know. One is a relational database. It can be MySQL, it can be PostgreSQL, doesn't matter. All right. Don't get into the people who simply say MySQL is better than Postgres or Postgres is better than MySQL. No, you just try to learn one database, a relational database, and another database you have to learn from no relational side, a database which is like a MongoDB or Redis. Try to learn at least one of those databases as well. Yes, I mean to say SQL. Which domain is best for our future? See, I think that question has to be answered by you. I would suggest you, as I mentioned before, try to learn a little bit of, try to have a look at what is there inside full stack development. Try to learn or look at what is there inside agentic systems, generative AI systems, data science, and see where your interest lies. And wherever your interest lies, try to do that more. All right. Same thing. I just mentioned Jaiswal, right? Try to look at full stack development, try to look at generative AI systems or data science. Identify where your interest lies and then try to learn that more. What concepts to learn in data science? There are a lot of things to learn in data science. Start with Python and then maybe try to learn data analytics, try to learn maybe machine learning, try to learn deep learning, and go towards maybe generative AI slowly and gradually from there. That is a good thing to do, Arman. You are using generative AI for productivity, right? So that's a completely different ballgame. What we did here in this course was to build AI systems ourselves. Apart from building AI systems, you also need to know how to use AI systems for productivity, and that's a very good way of doing it. It's a good thing that you are using AI assisted coding, but at the same time, if you are a fresher, try to also ensure that you understand all the basics really well. You know what is happening nowadays? Everybody can write code using ChatGPT or AI assisted programming, but in interviews, interviewers still will ask you basic questions. If you are not able to answer basic questions, what is the difference between list and tuples? What is the difference between mutability and mutability? What is an object? What is a class? If you can't understand and answer these basic questions, regardless of what kind of a project you have built using generative AI, interviewer will definitely reject you, right? So ensure that you become good at fundamentals. Definitely, AI assisted coding is important. AI assisted data analysis is important. But before that, your fundamentals and your knowledge should be up to the mark. Got it? All right. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I wish you all a very best. And in case if you have any questions, doubts, or queries, as always, feel free to contact us. Feel free to reach out to us. We will always be there to help you, to support you. Just ensure that anytime, any day, if you have any questions or doubts, you reach out to us. Thank you so much. See you in maybe some other way, in some other session, in some other workshop. Whenever we conduct, as I mentioned before, we'll put the notification on Discord. That's all. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.